Hey guys, it's YOU WACK. So I haven't made a video in a while just talking about some speculation, some ideas, or really just expressing my fantasies for Overwatch that I really want to happen in the future. Lately I've been making videos like for tip videos or just helping you guys out with the actual game, but today I feel like just slowing it down and also just getting your ideas because I kind of like this about my channels. I'm not just only a tip channel, but also a speculations channel where I can just bring in my ideas, bring in your guys' ideas, and we can just make Overwatch a whole better of a game, even though it's probably one of the best games out there right now. But today, what I do want to talk about is a possible new hero because, again, I don't want to say, oh, this is definitely guaranteed, this is definitely happening. No, I'm not saying that, but really, there's a lot of stuff pointing in the direction where maybe possibly this could be a brand new hero. What I'm talking about is the Queen of Junkertown. So, as you guys know, Junkertown is this brand new map that's soon going to be live on the 19th for consoles and live PC. Right now, it is just on PTR, and I'm so excited. Like, y'all don't even know. I feel like this is going to be one of the best maps that comes in the DLC package out of, like, Eichenwald and Horizon Lunar Colony and Oasis, all those maps right now. It's just really just so unique, so ragtag, and that's the adjective that I really describe this whole entire map because, well, it's Junkrat's whole entire family. I know it's not his family, but you get what I'm trying to say. And there was actually a video that went in depth with Junkertown, the making of it, but in that video, if you do want to check that out, which I highly suggest you go do because it's really insightful and just really spectacular of what they do, what the Blizzard team does when it goes into making a map, but something that they really focused on for, I would say, about like maybe 20% of the video is really talking about the Queen. So as Daddy Jeff puts it, the Queen is the boss. I mean, hence why she got the title. But the reason why I feel like she's gonna, and again, and this is just high speculations, like just ideas, just because, well, just because she's talked about in the lore of the Junkertown map doesn't necessarily mean that she's gonna be part of the hero selection screen, right? We've heard the scientist that worked with Winston, we've heard of Haman, and we've heard of all these other side kind of characters. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna be DLC heroes, but the thing is, with this video, and this isn't the reason why I kind of chose this video to really talk about it, but the reason why I kind of think that she could be here is because, well, he spent so long talking about the backstory of the Queen, and especially just that title, like the Queen, you know, that's just something unique and charismatic. And in fact, the backstory of the actual Queen was that she was a charismatic fighter. Originally, she wasn't the queen of this whole entire town. Originally, she was just this fighter that went into the actual rumble pit of Junkertown that just fought Omnics, fought other Junkertown people, and that's what's so special about her, and that made her the freaking Queen. But also, you have to look at the characteristics of what makes a hero, a fighter, a scientist, someone who's charismatic, someone who's brave. That's all kind of the same relative ideals of what probably the Queen is all about. You know, they wouldn't make her the Queen of Junkertown if she wasn't special or if she wasn't skilled or if she was an actual leader. I think that's why Doomfist was such a great hero is because, well, he's leading the talent organization. Now, let's look at the Junkertown organization. While it isn't on the same level where they have, like, all these advanced guns and all these advanced fighting skills, they still have charisma, they still have bravery, they still have all this kind of stuff, and that's all led by, guess who? The freaking Queen. So when she first got announced and when she first got talked about, I really didn't think that she would even come to mind of being here because, well, okay, she's just part of the lore. You know, when people were making videos weeks back when they first heard about it, you know, I could have just said, well, it's just part of the story. But now when they actually talked about it and spent like 20% of the whole entire freaking video talking about the Queen, it really brought into perspective, okay, what could be the next step? Well, there's this brand new map that's run by the Queen. Why not make her the brand new hero? But even moving away from the gameplay details side of things, like how she'll look, what her silhouette's going to be, or what kind of weapon she'll use, whether she's going to use a gun or a stick or magic, I don't know what it could be. Moving away from that, the actual in-game lore stuff kind of also points to that direction. You know, a brand new map, really big emphasis on the Queen, and a story that has yet to be told other than just this little cinematic that really isn't an in-game lore cinematic like the May or the Bastion one. You know, we have the talent organization kind of cinematics, and we have the Overwatch cinematics, you know, and we also even have Genji and Hanzo and even Zenyatta's stories to an extent. So we have all these other stories, and it kind of leaves a few untold stories, especially from Junkrat's and Roadhog's side of the story. You know, we really go in depth with Genji and Hanzo, but what about Roadhog and Junkrat's? Well, now there's this brand new map with emphasis on the Queen. Maybe a brand new hero will just enlighten that side of the story because it kind of just seems random that this ragtag kind of team gets brought into the game of Overwatch. And I know this whole entire video was all over the place with just giving ideas, but really what it just comes down to it is that the Queen wouldn't be the worst idea of a hero. We already heard a little tad bit story of the Queen and where she came from and how she got to be where she is now, which is, well, the top of this whole entire freaking town. Now let's actually see her as a hero to really complete the story. We heard the story of the Overwatch team. We heard the story of Talon. What about the story of Roadhog and Junkrat? What about the story of just how they got kicked out of Junkertown? Let's hear the story of the actual queen, because that would actually make the whole entire Overwatch story really complete and really come together and come into fruition of why these heroes are in the game, if they were to maybe throw their leader into the actual hero selection screen. So I don't know, I want to hear you guys' stories and hear you guys' thoughts on, well, first of all, just the queen itself, but also coming into the game as a possible hero, because originally I didn't want to make this video, but all signs are pointing to her possibly being a brand new hero. It wouldn't be the worst idea of it. You know, Orisa came out of nowhere. I'm gonna be straight up honest, but Doomfist, he was in the first cinematic of Overwatch before the game was even freaking out, and now we're starting to hear stories of Junkrat's side of things, of Roadhog's side of things, and now the leader has actually got announced. Well, Talon's leader got announced, and Overwatch leaders, well, it was already in the game. Now we're getting the leaders of Junkertown, so I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for Junkertown. I'm just so excited for where Overwatch is going. So love you guys. Thank you guys for watching more Overwatch videos to come, and bye.